I'm really. This is the moment for me to hear your opinion on this next film.
On Piercing?
Yes.
This is the film that you've been waiting for, but you haven't seen this yet, but you...
Oh, no, I've seen it.
Oh, you've seen Piercing?
I've seen it.
Ben, okay.
That's why I'm
all right, fine.
absolutely... I am all ears right now.
Okay, so Piercing is based on a book by Ryo Murakami, whose work also was the basis of Audition, the Takashi Miike film. You see it? Yeah, fine. Okay. Terrifying, but also satirical, but also terrifying, but satirical, but terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
Kitty, kitty, kitty.
Sack in the corner, that's all I'm
And now, the left foot.
I'm going to need to take a break.
Okay, so Piercing starts with this this kind of throwback 70s jolly, titles, which very much like something like House of the Devil takes you back to a very particular time. This is the kind of movie that's sort of theoretically pastiching. And it stars Christopher Abbott and Mia Wasikowska. And at the very beginning, we meet a man with a wife and a child, and we see him sinisterly holding an ice pick, and he apparently has a desire to kill. And he looks like he's a kind of nice suburban guy, but there's some, terrible thing in his... And he's going off on a business trip, and actually what he's clearly intending to do is to hire the services of a woman to come to his apartment, who he is then going to kill, and he practices doing the thing, and it's like a sort of nasty, creepy slasher setup. He then makes the call, but rather than the person that he has asked to come, Jackie, played by Mia Wasikowska, turns up. And she turns up with this kind of... She has fetishy gear and sort of bondage accoutrements. And things get off to a bad start. And then she locks herself in the bathroom. And then things get weird. Now, I'm very specifically not going to say more about the plot.
I'm glad I was going to stop you.
Yeah, because... the less you know about the way the thing... I mean, obviously, if you know the source from whence this came, this is the same, the mind behind Audition, that kind of... You know that things are going to get twisted, you know that things are going to get
But
strange.
if, like me, you didn't know that, you don't want to know what's behind that bathroom door.
but you did know from the titles the kind of area that we're in. Okay, fine.
Sure.
So essentially, what the film does, the film refers very specifically. It uses split screen. It uses music from Argento films. It's drenched in that kind of jolly sensibility. And on the one hand, it's a sly thriller that kind of upturns expectations about who's in charge and who isn't, and who's the victim and who's the attacker. On the other hand, it's a very sort of weird psychosexual thriller that almost has some of the kind of doomed logic of something like The Man Who Fell from Grace with the Sea, but a lot more twisted. There are shades of Cronenberg, clear shades of Cronenberg. We're thinking of things like Crash and The Brood and body horror. And again, that central thing that was at the heart of all of Cronenberg stuff, which is a virus is just doing its job. It's the point of view. It's the which side is good, which side is bad. Where are we in this whole thing? And it's also very, very slyly funny. I mean, it is funny.
Very slightly. And occasionally, it's
really
so jarring, that funniness, because you've got that sort of 70s feel to the font in the credits and stuff like that, or you see the car zooming through this sort of cartoon-like world, and I'd almost expected the music to go like Naked Gun or something.
And there's another film that it reminded me of tonally was that film Teeth, which is a really, really sort of strange, but a film which I liked very much, but was very, very dark. So the best way of reviewing this without giving anything away about it is firstly to say, if you're somebody who is squeamish, if you're somebody who doesn't like really twisted, perverse, don't go and see it.
Definitely.
If you're somebody who is in that kind of market of weird Cronenbergian, Vincenzo Natali, Cronenberg, Argento, that sort of stuff, then you may well find this kind of interesting, although it is transgressive and then some. The best thing I can say about it is there are moments in this film that as the hardened extreme cinema watcher that I am, it's not to do with Bridget, went, really? Really? And there was a certain delight involved in being genuinely, because I didn't know the story and I didn't know, but I had the sense from the texture of the film what kind of film it was. I was genuinely, in the best sense, jaw-dropped in certain moments of it.
It won't let you relax, this film. You never know where you are, and I think that's maybe important. I mean, personally, Did you enjoy it? I kind of did. Were you kind of freaked out by it? I was kind of freaked out. Because it's kind of nasty and twisted. It is nasty and twisted. I did get to the end and think, and your point is, which bugged me a little bit, But I think the way that there is, what's the best way of saying this with no spoilers? A lot of up and down in terms of who's in control leaves you feeling like you're not in control. You know, you feel quite like, I don't know where I am.
I don't know where this is going.
It's unsettling, which keeps you, you know, on the edge of your seat, I suppose.
Also, I mean, it's from the director of Eyes of My Mother, which is a very, very, very dark, but also very interesting horror movie, which is it's, again, if you've seen Eyes of My Mother and you like that, then I think this is something that will draw you in. But I would say, once again, if you're squeamish...
Yeah, just don't.
If you
just don't. Just don't.
Just don't. But I did. And I'm glad I did.
And we can't unsee what we have seen.